Coming up on Cabarrus this week, County leadership presented commissioners with its FY22 proposed budget. Learn how you can lend your voice to the process. And the library summer reading program explores tales and tales. Plus, it's kitten season. Learn how you can help the animal shelter during this busy time. That's all coming up on Cabarrus this week. Hi, I'm Hannah Lightsey and welcome to Cabarrus this week. We're at the Cabarrus County Government Center in Concord, the heart of where county business is conducted and important decisions are made. On May 17th, County Manager Downs presented commissioners with his proposed budget for the new fiscal year, which runs June 2021 to July 2022. The proposed budget increases funding in several important areas, including education and workforce, while maintaining the property tax rate of 74 cents per $100 of assessed value. The total operating budget is just over $297 million. In this clip, County Manager Mike Downs and Deputy County Manager Rodney Harris break down highlights of the budget and the budgeting process.
Well, Chairman and members of the Board of Commissioners, it is my honor and privilege to submit the fiscal year 2021-2022, or you'll hear it referenced as FY22 recommended budget. Staff prepared this budget in accordance with the laws of North Carolina, guided by the Board of Commissioners' strategic priorities.
The managers talked about our budget more from a general fund perspective, but as you know, we have multiple funds that make up our total budget. And so this slide shows you that as a combined budget, we are looking at about $393 million for the fiscal year 22 recommended budget. The bulk of that and the focus of this presentation will be on the first two, which is the general fund and the community investment fund. Those make up 92% of the dollars that we have allocated. And so when we look at the general fund, obviously property tax is the most significant revenue source, and so we are seeing about a 4% growth there. And the only other item on this that I want to call out for your attention is sales tax. As you recall, last year we did a significant reduction, expecting the pandemic to have an impact on our sales tax. That was never materialized, and so our sales tax collections have been really strong. And so you'll see about a 42% increase year over year in the sales tax budget. And then this just gives you a breakdown of our major revenue sources within the general fund, which obviously property tax makes up 72% of our revenues, and then sales tax is about 13%, and then it goes down from there. So this one I want to spend at least a little bit of time on because it can be a little bit confusing. So within the general fund, we have transfers out to other funds for other purposes. And so these represent transfers to our capital projects fund, which is for projects that are capital in nature. So these are items that school operating reserved was mentioned in the message. That is the $3.4 million that the school is going to use one-time federal money and allow us to use this $3.4 million to cover deferred maintenance projects. The second we talked about last year is we still have one more year before the new courthouse opens. And so we have $2.6 million that will be needed once it opens. In the meantime, we're able to use that towards one-time projects. Annual county deferred maintenance is just regular deferred maintenance projects that Kyle manages for us, and so that's $2.5 million. In FY22, we have insurance and bonds that we do not need the general fund appropriation for that purpose because we have a sufficient fund balance that we can appropriate. So for 1 year, we're going to be able to use that $974,000 to do capital projects, and then in FY23, it'll go back to that original purpose. And then the last is the child care facility we've talked about on prior occasions. The ongoing expense for tuition assistance would be about $275,000. We do not need that in FY22 because we have existing funds. And so we're going to reserve that as a one-time capital expense so that in FY23 it's there when we need it. Again, transfers to other funds. So the previous slide is transfers to our capital projects fund. This covers our transfers to other funds. So the first two are the community investment fund. We transfer out each year $37.2 million. That is revenue that is going into the CIF on an annual basis. The second item is a one-time contribution to the CIF. This is a hedge against any potential downturn on our sales tax. So at a staff level, you always have concerns about how that's going to play out, especially in a pandemic environment. And so when you see a 42% increase year over year, you get a little nervous. Were you too aggressive? And so this $3 million is protection against being short on that revenue source. If we come in at or above our revenue for sales tax, this money would go towards one-time capital projects for next year. And then the last two are the Arena and Events Center and the landfill fund that we have contributions that go over there to balance those funds. We talked about education, and so this just summarizes the additional investments being made in education. I think the one that is of note is the significant capital investment that this budget reflects. And so that is 48 capital projects for Cabarrus County Schools, 15 for Kannapolis City Schools, and 4 capital projects for the community college. And then this just shows you, based on our fund balance goal, which is that red line, what our anticipated fund balance is within the Community Investment Fund. And so what you see when we're above the line is the potential for additional projects in future years, because eventually we'll be able to spend that down. And the other benefit to that is we can spend it down as cash rather than debt. So this can lower our debt burden in the years ahead. So just to summarize the next steps, as we talked about earlier, on June 7th, we will have our public hearing. June 10th will be the next budget workshop and the final budget workshop if that is needed. Budget adoption is scheduled for June 21st, and then we would have our new budget kick in on July 1.
Thanks, Mike and Rodney. Commissioners will hold a budget public hearing on June 7th at 6:30 p.m. Following a June 10th budget workshop, if needed, the board plans to vote on the budget June 21st. Want to learn more about the budget? The county will host 2 programs that introduce the public to the budget process and key details of the FY22 budget. The first is a virtual budget overview session set for June 1st from 6:30 to 8 p.m. The second in-person session is Friday, June 4th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. This program includes the overview plus presentations and demonstrations on how the budget works. Participants will also have an opportunity to join in open discussions with county management and commissioners. To register for either Government 101 session, call 704-920-2336 or email outreach@cabarruscounty.us. To review the FY22 recommended budget, go to cabarruscounty.us/budget. After reading the 240-page budget document, you may want to head over to any of our Cabarrus County Library branches to get credit for it. Our Summer Reading 2021 campaign will kick off on June 1st and runs the entire summer. The library's Beanstack app makes it easy to sign up and track your progress. Our library staff had fun with the Tales and Tales theme. They put together a video on what you can expect.
Hi, I'm Miss Amanda at the Cabarrus County Public Library, and I'm here to tell you that our Summer Reading Challenge starts on June 1st. You can sign up online, on the web, or in the Beanstack app. Just for signing up, you can come in and get a cool prize. We have some cool toys and some cool sunglasses. And then after you finish the challenge, you can come back in again and get a free book of your choice. That's yours to keep. But that's not all. You also get entered to win one of 20 gift cards that we're giving away this summer. And we're going to have lots of virtual performers all summer long, including the zoo. We've got a didgeridoo player, an origami magician. So there's lots and lots of stuff. And we're so excited about summer reading. We can't wait to see your faces. And we wanted to show you a little bit of a behind the scenes look at how excited and prepared we're getting for summer reading. So take a look.
Learn more about Summer Reading 2021 at cabarruscounty.us/library or on Facebook and Instagram at Cabarrus County Library. Finally, we have a snuggly furry way that you can help out in our community. There's a great need for kitten foster families to support the county's animal shelter. Even if you can't provide a forever home, you can still help kittens too young for adoption. Here's Julie with the shelter and a Cabarrus family we met last year to tell you how you can get involved.
We had planned to launch our program this spring before COVID-19 hit. Then we entered into what we call kitten season, where all of the stray kittens are having babies and they all end up here at the shelter. So we had an immediate need for placement. People often find kittens and bring them to us. They need a lot of round-the-clock care.
You've got to keep them clean, fed, healthy.
They need more care that we can provide here at the shelter, so they need what we call bottle feeders.
It's so satisfying. You get so much back.
They need to be fed every couple of hours when they're babies, and they just need a lot of constant attention, making sure they're medically okay. We had a few people step up. We started putting babies in foster care. They were raised for a few weeks, came back to us when they were 8 or 9 weeks old.
Just by getting them out of the shelter into a quiet, calm, clean area where they can be given the attention that you don't have the time for in a shelter. It's no long-term commitment. I get to snuggle kitties, and I will do that instead of vacuuming often. And then when it's time, they go back.
And so we had a really great system where they were coming back, getting their final vet checks, and then going home to their adoptive homes that same day.
And people do ask, how can you give them back? I'd keep them all. Well, if you kept them all, you wouldn't be able to help the next batch.
Our foster program is solely run on donations. We do not have a budget for this program. So we've been fortunate to this point to have donations that can sustain us. So you can search for us through Amazon, just search for the Cabarrus County Animal Shelter. And that will give you a few different lists. We have dog care list, a cat care list, a bottle baby supplies, and a general shelter needs.
Thanks so much. If you can help, log on to cabarruscounty.us or visit the animal shelter on Facebook at Cabco Animal Shelter for more info. And now we want to share a special announcement with you all. Cabarrus County will honor the resilience of our community through a special event called Lanterns on the Lake. The drive-through celebration will take place at Franklin Park on Thursday, May 27th at 9 p.m. While it honors lives lost to COVID-19, it will also pay tribute to the essential workers and the sacrifices they made to care for our community over the past year. For more information on that, you can log on to the ALP's Facebook page and Instagram page at Cabco ALP or call 704-920-3484. Well, that's our show for the week. Check out more stories and updates by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Cabarrus County, or subscribe to our weekly newsletter. All you have to do is go to cabarruscounty.us and type newsletter in the search bar. Remember to watch all our other programming such as commissioner meetings, Pam's Kitchen, historical moments, and Out and About on YouTube at Cabarrus County. Make sure to like and subscribe to get all of our updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.